So besides commercial workshops, what other courses do you offer?
I have a whole acting division. We feature mainly Meisner, because I really believe that's for film and television the best and most applicable technique for film and television. And I have 2 incredible teachers. I have who I feel is one of the best improv teachers in town. His name is Donovan Scott. He's just incredible. I have a cold reading workshop that we do on camera, and I've just added a woman named Suzanne Senna, who's really well known out in the hosting and news world, to start a new hosting division. And it's incredible what we're offering.
I don't think she has a lot of competition in this town.
She has a little, but the problem I have with most people and most competition, they're taking too many people in classes. One of the things that we do, we limit our classes so everybody works every night. And that, if it's a camera class, they get up at least 2 or 3 times. So, no, she does have some competition, but I think she's so far and above most people out here. But that's me. I'm partial. It took me 2 years to find her, and I'm so glad I did.
So the most recent work, then,
my book
is your book.
Yes.
Which, again, is called Hit the Ground Running.
Correct.
And could this be useful for someone who's been out here, say, 5 years already? Or do you think they're going to know? There's certain
parts of it. They'll know. It depends on who they are. Sometimes I've had several people who bought the book who've been out here for a long time but have not had a plan. The book features a lot of really, I think, valuable information that's not covered anyplace else. There's a whole chapter on money, for example. What things really cost. I talk about the first year, if you're really coming out here and studying, it's going to cost you not even your living expenses, but your acting and training and acting expenses are about $5,000 or $6,000, and then it jumps up once you get into the union and you start marketing. And I talk about what great jobs for actors and other possibilities of making money. I don't know of anything else that covers it as much as I do. I cover a plan. The first 6 months, acting and improv. I'm a major advocate that you don't jump into a commercial class until you've studied acting and improv professionally. I would say that 90% of most universities, when people graduate, they really know about acting, but they haven't been taught to be actors. And I even have one of the professors in my book. Was one of the great things I'm really excited about my book too, is that I have 15 people write where they agree and disagree with me. Because one of the problems that I have is that there's no one way to be successful as an actor. Even though I think I've come up with a great formula, I have people write where they agree and disagree. And in the book, sometimes they disagree with each other. So it gives you the sense you've got to, and I talk about researching and finding people to listen to. So there's a whole section on how to type yourself, this whole plan for the first 3 years. You do this and you do this, and if you can't do this, you do this. And there's just all kinds of information like that you can't get anywhere else. And the reason I did this book, I originally started when I would have, whenever a new student comes to see me, I sit and interview them one-on-one, just me and them, for at least a half hour, 45 minutes. And I was constantly giving this information, and all my initial meetings were like an hour and a half with brand new people because I wanted them to understand this, but there's no way that they could take all that information in. So I started writing it out and just giving it to them, and I realized, oh my God, this is a book. But I'd never written a book before. I had the DVD program for kids, I did the CD program with Kevin West, and then that's for kids. That's great. It's a great way of getting into it. But I'd done that. But I'd never sat down to write a book. So I said, screw it. I'm just going to sit down, start writing, see what comes out. 4 years later, because I'm not a writer, I finished it. And I realized a lot of people started reading, and they said, Carol, this is really good. But grammatically and some of the stuff like that. So I got 2 different proofreaders and like that. And they went through it. It took me another 6 months, and we really cleaned it up. And then I did some more people reading it, and they said it's ready to go. And then I started getting all the contributing writers. So it was a 5-year process. And now it's a whole learning thing. I decided to publish it myself because my goal is to get into universities for the graduating seniors, and also get it to people who, before they come to Los Angeles, or if they're here in Los Angeles or New York or Chicago or Toronto, and they're lost and they don't know. Because one of the big problems with actors is that they don't listen to the right people. They listen to whoever happens to be in the room at the time. They don't know about researching and maybe comparing opinions. And even when actors go audit, I have a whole section in there about when you go to audit a class, and a lot of actors don't even know they can audit, is that when you go and audit a class, what do you look for? And what do you ask the teacher And I have like about 6 or 8 different questions, and then how to compare people. Because even though it seems obvious to you and I, it's not obvious to a lot of new people who just don't know. So it's important information. And I believe that if people read the book, I think a lot of people don't make it in this business because they didn't go down the right path, they didn't have the right information, so they get money trouble, or they get frustrated, or they just get bitter because they start auditioning too soon. That's another big mistake too. Actors start auditioning way too soon, and that screws around with your confidence. And I have a whole chapter about confidence and how to build it and what to do about it.
So it seems like you can't go wrong.
No.
By reading this.
No.
You can't. It's information and you wouldn't have otherwise have accumulated, or you might have wasted a lot of time and money when it could have been spared.
That's exactly
by
what
reading
it is.
this.
Because in essence, we can always make money, but time we can't replace. And when you're first starting in this town and in the entertainment business, more as opposed to any business, as well as any business, it's about making smart choices. And the people that have become most successful either got really lucky with falling into the right situation, or listened to the right people and made the right choices about training, about money, about marketing, about which agent. I have a whole chapter when you meet agents, what do you ask? A lot of actors don't realize that they have a choice in the matter of who represents them, and forget that the agent is working for them. And they don't go to it like a business meeting. They go into it like a little hungry puppy, like, want me, want me. And that's when you start losing your confidence. And there's a difference between confidence and arrogance, too. I don't believe in arrogance. But when you really believe in yourself, but believing yourself is so much more challenging in this town than most people understand, because of the auditions and the things that you don't have control over, and it's just really difficult. So it's important to get yourself in a class that nurtures you as well as teaches you, to be with the right kind of people that really support you but tell you the truth at the same time, to take good care of your body so you don't get sick, because when people get sick, they get depressed. There's a lot of ways that you can do to nurture your soul and your creativity and your business sense that people just don't aware, because they're working from a place of I got to get work, or I got to prove myself, or I'm getting old, and they don't approach this smart. And if they did, they would have a much better chance.